Morning, guys. Today, Conor McGregor shares with us another piece of advice that will help every single day of our lives. And that is live every day like a champion. And this, I think, is where perhaps Conor McGregor is often misunderstood. I could be wrong, but he would think and live like a champion every single day, even before he became a champion in the UFC. And I think, some people might view that as being arrogant, confident, um, and view it in a negative fashion. But this man was simply using the most powerful thing in the world, our thoughts, his thoughts, to manifest and eventually become a champion. But he lived like a champion and still lives like a champion. How can we apply this today in our life? Whatever you're doing, even the most simplest thing, your job, live like a champion at that and watch what happens to your results. Have a good morning, everyone.
I love inspiration and motivation, but it is the neurological equivalent of candy. It's rad, it has its place, but everyone, because those just happen to be fleeting neurological states. Yeah. You just have to find something that's way more grounded. You need a mission, you need a grand why, you need to know what it is. And this is not a discovery. It's a thing you decide. I decided. Now, because I tell it as a story, people think, oh, it was unavoidable. He meets this kid, Rashawn, and that coupled with all the people that he worked with at Quest, it's sort of inevitable that he decides that he's going to build impact theory and try to change culture to give everyone an empowering mindset. Yeah, well, literally a year before I decided to found impact theory, my mission in life was to end metabolic disease. So it's like you decide and then you point yourself at something. Nothing is ever going to feel right. Like, this is what I was put on earth to do. It won't feel that way until about a year or 2 years after you've been saying that's what you're going to do, that that's what you're committed to, and actually acting in accordance with that. And then you'll be like, yeah, this actually is my mission.
Get rid of your 10-year goals and create a mission instead. I think a lot of people are so worried about where they're going to be in a year, in 5 years, in 10 years. So we do these goal planning exercises. You ever gone through that? You ever gone through a goal planning exercise, goal setting exercise at events? You read a book, it says where you're going to be in a year, in 5 years, or 10 years. And the more that I've thought about it, the more that I've gone through the exercises, the more I realized it's not important. It's not helpful. It's not where we want to be, because you don't know what you're capable of in a 5-year period, a 10-year period. Think about who you were 5 years ago. Take today's date and subtract 5 years. Think about that person. Could you have predicted where you are right now? Could the person you were 5 years ago have any degree of confidence to plan a life for who you are right now? There's no way. There's no way. Not if you're growing, not if you're learning, not if you're improving. If you're watching this channel, then you're somebody who is learning and growing and improving. And so you had no idea what you're capable of 5 years ago. And so what makes you think that it's any different now, that you can plan for the next 5 years? Like, the only way that you can create a 10-year plan for yourself is if you are not growing and you're in a really static life. Like if you're going to be a lawyer and you're going to work your way up and be a senior partner at the law firm, and that takes a certain amount of time, cool, you could plan that out. That's a pretty boring life. Chances are, if you're watching this video, you don't want that life, that you want to create new and build new, and that requires being flexible to jump off of your 10-year goals, right? It's not that it's wrong to have goals. Goals can work, they can be motivating, but your goals right now are a reflection of who you currently are. That's the problem. Whatever goal you set right now is a reflection of who you currently are. And the more that you are growing as a human, and the more that the world evolves and new technology comes out and new opportunities arise, the longer horizon you put out, the less accurate it's going to be. And so instead of worrying about having a 10-year goal, replace it with a mission. The problem of a 10-year goal is you could actually hit your 10-year goal. It's just way small compared to what you're capable of. And so the answer is have a mission. What's your mission? What are you trying to accomplish? Like, what's the big problem that you're trying to solve? And then wake up every day trying to attack that mission, as opposed to worrying about where you're going to be in 10 years. This might flip a lot of goal setting on its head. It might flip a lot of what you've been told or taught or thought on its head. And listen, if having that 10-year goal works for you and is actually motivating, cool. Keep with it. Keep going. If it's helping you, use it. But if you feel like there's something more, you feel like 10-year goal is not enough, you don't feel motivated when you look at your 10-year goal from 2 years ago, it doesn't appeal to you anymore, it's probably why. You know, you're growing too quickly. The problem is not your goals. The problem is that you grew too much. The 10-year goal was great for who you were 3 years ago. You're not that person anymore. You've grown too much. That's not a reason to feel bad. That's a reason to feel amazing. You know, you've grown. You've outgrown yourself. You've shed your skin. You're now turning to the next generation of you. And so my answer has been mission. What's the mission? What are you trying to accomplish? You know, so for me, I want to solve the world's biggest problem. Entrepreneurs and, you know, people don't believe in themselves. People don't believe in themselves. And I don't believe in myself enough. You don't believe in yourself enough. Nobody, you know, walking out here believes in themselves enough. We don't believe in ourselves enough. And I want to solve that problem. And I'm never going to solve that problem. And I wake up every day trying to solve that problem. And why it's so helpful to have a mission like that is because it gives you something to fight for every day. And there's always something new that can come out that can help you with that. And there's always opportunities that, I think, guys, the amount of things that I've seen and that has happened in the past 10 years, if you look at 10 years ago, where was I on YouTube? I started in April 2009, so I was early in on my career on YouTube. I had a couple hundred subscribers. There's no way I would have said I'd be here. There's no way, just with the impact I've had, with the people I've met, with even just the confidence to sit here. Guys, I would have been so terrified to sit in a park making a video. Terrified of who's watching me, who's judging me, who's coming around the corner, who's behind there, maybe, you know, looking at me and judging me. You know, it just would have been impossible. So the person I was 10 years ago would have never even thought of this as a possibility. And now it's normal. It's not a problem, right? How quickly that we can grow. And so you come up with a mission. What's the problem you're trying to solve? And then as you develop new skill sets and improve mindsets and better belief systems, and as you know, the market and technology evolves and opportunities arise, as you keep going and building momentum, there will be new things that you can go off and do that you never thought were possible. But it's always in service of the mission. So how do you find the mission? Well, that's your purpose for me, and your purpose comes from your pain. So whatever you struggled the most with is the thing you want to help other people through. And so I struggled so much to believe in myself in the early days of my business and quit. Like I quit for one day on my business in worst day of my life, and I just want to make the path a little bit easier for others. How do I keep going? People ask me, how do you keep going? How do you keep making content? How have you made, I don't know, 13,000, 15,000? I don't know how many videos I've made. It's crazy how many videos we've done. I only slept 2.5 hours last night. It was a really rough night. Why get up and keep making content? Because I'm on a mission. Because this means something to me. Whether 4 people watch this video or 4 million people watch this video, I'm hoping that this video in some way is the video that moves the needle just a little bit for somebody watching. Maybe it's you. Maybe this is the video that you decide, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna find my mission. I'm gonna stop creating 10-year goals and stop over planning, over preparing, and overthinking, and over strategizing, and over doubting myself, and just go do something. Like maybe today this is the video, or maybe I make another video today that accomplishes that. Like that's my goal. That's why I do what I do. That's what gives me the energy to wake up when every bone in my body is saying, you know, sleep, don't do the difficult thing. And it's easy because I'm on a mission. And so what's yours? What did you struggle with the most as a human? And if you can connect to that, you can think about all the people who currently are struggling with the thing that you struggled with. You know, you're not done growing, you're not done learning, you're still improving. There's still a long ways to go. You're by no means perfect, neither am I. But you're a lot further ahead than you used to be. And there's a lot of people right now who are right now stuck where you used to be. And they don't know what to do. They don't know where to turn. They don't have anybody who believes in them. They don't have any hope. They don't have any strategies. They think they're stuck. They think they're stuck. In your story, your message, your content, you reaching out, you could make the difference for them. If you actually believe that, it's going to just change the energy with which you show up and open you up to amazing new opportunities that, again, you can't predict 10 years in advance. So it's a challenge. It's a call to action today. If you love setting your 10-year goals and it works for you, amazing, keep going. Do what works for you. But if you feel like you're judging yourself against them, if you feel like they're not working for you, if you feel like you're 6 months in and you already want to change it, the problem is not that it's a 10-year goal. The problem is that you have already outgrown what you're capable of. You've already outgrown it 6 months in, a year in. And the thing that you won't outgrow is the mission. To have a goal, have a purpose so big that you never solve it, and you wake up every day trying to solve it.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there.
Good afternoon, guys. How are you doing today? How is living your life like a champion going? Have you been perhaps defeated? Have you been in a situation where it hasn't gone your way? Are there thoughts in your head right now where they are not serving you because you're not thinking like a champion and therefore not living like a champion? Well, I want to remind you, again, use the 2 most powerful tools you have right now. That is your belief in yourself and your determination to not give up on living, but first of all, thinking like a champion. So get back at it again today, wherever you are. Start to think and fill your mind with thoughts of you being a champion human being, because that's something that is ongoing. So right now, think about how you can change your mind to think as a champion of a human being. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
We have a huge frontal lobe, and it's 40% of our entire brain. And most people, when they have a thought, they just think that that's the truth. And I think one of my greatest realizations in my own journey was just because you have a thought doesn't necessarily mean it's true. So if you think 60 to 70,000 thoughts in one day, and we do, and 90% of those thoughts are the same thoughts as the day before, and you believe that your thoughts have something to do with your destiny, your life's not going to change very much, because the same thought leads to the same choice leads to the same behavior creates the same experience, and the same experience produces the same emotion. And so then the act of becoming conscious of this process to begin to become more aware of how you think, how you act, and how you feel, it's called metacognition. And so then why is that important? Because the more conscious you become of those unconscious states of mind and body, the less likely you're going to go unconscious during the day. And that thought is not going to slip by your awareness unchecked, because it means to know thyself. The word meditation means to become familiar with. So as you become familiar with the thoughts, the behaviors, and the emotions of the old self, you're retiring that old self. As you fire and wire new thoughts and condition the body into a new emotional state, if you do that enough times, it'll begin to become familiar to you. So it's so important, just like a garden. If you're planting a garden, you got to get rid of the weeds. You got to take the plants from the past year and you got to pull them out. The rocks that sift to the top that are like our emotional blocks, they have to be removed. The soil has to be tenderized and broken down. We have to make room to plant a new garden. So primarily, we learn the most about ourselves and others when we're uncomfortable. Because the moment you move into that uncomfortable state, normally a program jumps in. When that program jumps in, it's because the person doesn't want to be in the present moment and engage it consciously. So when you teach people how to do that with a meditative process, it turns out that when they're in their life, they're less likely to emotionally react. They're less likely to be so rigid and believe the thoughts they were thinking. They're more aware of when they go unconscious back into a habit, and that is what starts the process of change. And so we have to unlearn before we relearn. We have to break the habit of the old self before we reinvent a new self. We have to prune synaptic connections and sprout new connections. We have to unfire and unwire and refire and rewire. We have to unmemorize emotions that are stored in the body, and then recondition the body to a new mind and to a new emotion, like deprogram and reprogram. That's the act, and it's a two-step process.
The fastest way to change your habits is to change your environment. You ever notice how when you're in a different environment, maybe you go on vacation, maybe you go to an event or seminar, you start doing different things? You are still you, and you do some of the things that you used to do, but all of a sudden you're doing new things that become a part of your regular routine. You ever been away for a couple weeks and discover that you built up some new habits, and maybe some are healthy, maybe some are unhealthy? But if you've ever been away and you notice that you've picked up some new habits, why? Well, it's because the environment demanded it, because everybody else was doing it, because it was so easy, natural, comfortable to do that, that's why you do it too. And so if you want to be able to switch your habits quickly, you change your environments. Now, you may not always be able to go on vacation or go to events or seminars, so those are options. But it starts with you figuring out, well, what are the habits that you want to develop? Who are the people that you want to be around? And when you are around those people, you will start to think differently, which will lead to you behaving differently. When you see other people doing it, you're going to want to do it more. When it's in your environment more, you're going to want to do it more too. This morning, I was talking to a YouTuber, big YouTuber, bigger than me, more subscribers than me, slightly different niche. And I remember meeting him in California a couple of years ago. And one of the things he was struggling with was staying consistent. And I'm very consistent. And one of the things I was struggling with was staying healthy while I was on the road. And we were having dinner together, and he was eating super clean. He was eating fish and salad, and I probably had a burger or something, fries. And coming away from that, what I realized was whoever is more confident wins. And when you're around other people, whoever's more confident in the habit that they have will be the dominant habit that both of you end up picking up. So if we were hanging out together more, here's what would happen. I would become a lot healthier in my eating, and he would become a lot more consistent in his content, because we'd be inspired by each other. Because he'd see me working away, make my videos, and he'd feel bad that he wasn't making his, and he'd have to go and start making his. And I see him eating healthy all the time and be like, man, I should be eating healthy. And it would force me to do it as well. That environment switch would allow us to create much better, stronger habits. So now you got to be careful about the kind of people who you're hanging out with. And if you look at the people who you've got right now around you, chances are they're keeping you stuck, they're keeping you small, they're keeping you where you are. And you're probably pouring into them, right? You're the one giving them love, giving them encouragement, giving them support, pouring into them. You're taking your cup and pouring into them, and it's great, and you should keep doing that, and it's amazing, and it's fulfilling. But who's pouring into you, and who's making you get to the next step? Because if you don't have that, you're gonna continue to stay small, or just have slow growth compared to where you could be. So how do we get some practical steps? Okay, that's great. What do we actually do? How do you start making that change happen? Well, the first step is to figure out what is it that you want to get better at. You know, what area of your life or business do you want to be better at? Is it you want to stay more consistent on your habits? You want to learn how to make money? You want to have a better relationship? You want to take care of your health? Like what is the thing that you actually want to get better at? Getting clarity on what that thing is. 2 is to then surround yourself as much as possible with content, not even people, because it could be great to say, hey, awesome, hang around Joe Dispenza all the time and you will become better, you will meditate more, you will solve your awesome, but you don't know Joe Dispenza, and he's probably not taking on students right now or mentees, right? Or Elon Musk or Oprah Winfrey, whoever, right? You don't know them, and so that's not a practical answer, but you can hang around their content. It's why I make these videos every day, because if every day there was a new video for you, hopefully it lifts you to bring some of the best experts in the world, the people that I find inspiring and learn from, to share their message. Every morning you don't have that person in your life, but there's videos for you. So step 2 is, so step 1, we're figuring out what is it that we want, right? Where do we want to improve and get better? Step 2 is, who are the people who are living it, who are preaching it, who are living it, who actually inspire you? And there's so many different people out there who are doing it, and everybody has their own way. I like to say that, an Eric Thomas is going to yell at you through it, and Oprah Winfrey is going to hug you through it, but they have very similar messages. Whoever's style you connect with the most,
have that more consistently in your environment. Follow them on Instagram, subscribe to them on YouTube, put their quotes on the wall around you. Create your own environment of the people who make you feel like you want to do more, who inspire you to step out of your comfort zone and take on those new habits that you want to actually adopt, right? So you're creating a new environment for yourself without having to go live with Joe Dispenza or Elon Musk or Oprah Winfrey. Okay, so I call them aspirational mentors, and that can be fundamental, and that's where most people need to start, because you have access to their books and their videos and their content. You have that access right now, and that can make a big shift in you if you start surrounding yourself with it every day. And then step 3 is to get more in-person connections, and this is more time-consuming and more challenging and harder to find the right fits, but can make a big shift as well in your life. So I don't want to only rely on it. That's why step 2 is actually having just content that you're learning from. But step 3, if there's people that you're learning from, do they have an event? Do they have something coming up? Can you hang around people who are like-minded, who are also taking on challenges? I'm doing a challenge right now inside my Movement Makers program, where Movement Makers is for thought leaders who are trying to get to the next level with their content and break through and have a greater message and reach more people. But a lot of people haven't been as consistent as they should have. Because they're the only ones doing this. They don't know anybody else making content. Their family thinks they're crazy. Like, why are you making another video? They're not seeing results. They don't have a peer group. They don't have anybody to connect with and talk to. And this can relate to any goal that you have. Movement Makers is just for kind of thought leaders making content, but whatever goal that you have, if you're the only one that you know who's doing it, it's really hard to stay consistent on it. So our Movement Makers challenge is every month we have a challenge where you have to make a lead magnet for your business, a solo video, and then 3 collaboration videos with other people in the group. So it forces you to start making content. And for a lot of the members, this is the most consistent they've ever been now in making content, because 1, they're doing it together. You feel like you're doing it with other people, even though a lot of the content that you make outside will still be separate from the members. You're not doing a business together, but it feels like they're connected. We're taking on this challenge together. And then in the collaboration videos, you're connecting with people. You're doing interviews with people. You're sharing your thoughts and feedback. It's not just you talking to a camera in the car with your dogs by yourself anymore. And that really, 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 really matters. It really matters. So getting some kind of support group, connecting with other people who are on the same journey, going to seminars or events of humans that you can talk to and connect with who are doing the thing that you want to do. Because the more that you're around those people, the more you're going to stay consistent on the habits that you want to build. So using that 3-step process can absolutely change your life. It's entirely possible. And if you're watching videos like this, you're already on the growth mindset journey, right? You're already into personal development. You already know you want to do more and serve more and help more. And this helps you elevate yourself to the next level, because you are probably the most ambitious person that you know, that you're hanging out with. And that's a great place to be, because you're serving and helping, but it also sucks because it limits your growth of what you could become. Where if you can, 1, clearly identify, what do you want to change? What is the habit that you want to take on? Where are you not satisfied anymore in your life? Not beating yourself up and saying you suck, but like the next level of growth that you want to accomplish for yourself. And then 2, following people just through content who are living that message, who are not just speaking it, but living it, who when you watch their videos, you actually get inspired to go make a change in your life. Who are those people? Subscribe to them, follow them every day, watch their content, read their books, put their stuff up on your wall as a reminder. You're creating a new environment for yourself. And then 3 is actually connecting with humans, joining a group like Movement Makers or something else, going to events where your tribe is at, so that you are not alone doing this journey, feeling isolated and like you don't belong. Make those 3 changes. It will change your life. The difference between where you are now, where you could be, is just the consistent habits that you're putting in. You know this. I know you know this. Now it's about taking the actual action to stay consistent on those habits.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there.
Good evening, guys. How did it go today? Was there a time where you lived and felt like a champion today? Even one moment? Well, hopefully there was, but if there wasn't, again, the mark of a champion, and especially a champion human being, is getting back up, getting back in there, going back to that time and that opportunity, and thinking how you can respond better. And so for me, this has been the theme of my life, and I'm sure many people. We're always getting defeated. We're always getting knocked down. We're always making mistakes. But the thing that drives me is the thought that I want to be a champion, and I'm starting to think like one, and I want you to as well. The fact that we can work on the most powerful thing in the world, our thoughts, which is the same for everyone, makes us champions already. So let's live it forever. Have a great evening, everyone.
We all have these desires and we all keep fulfilling these desires. You have this wrong concept of happiness. Let me work hard. Let me get all the money. Let me buy all of that stuff. Let me get all the phones. Let me have those palaces. Let me have my dream house. Let me have my dream car and I'll be happy. You dream. And there's nothing wrong with dreaming. There's nothing wrong with earning. And there's nothing wrong with having. But to dream that this is what will make you happy, I'm sorry to say, recently in Silicon Valley, I met a friend of mine and his life is no different. After a certain while, इतना मिल गया, उसके आगे क्या यार? अभी क्या सोना खाएगा? सोना? सोना का टॉयलेट तो बना दिया, खाएगा क्या सोना? After you cross a certain limit, no, it's all a status game. It has no value. It can't add more value to your life. It's all a status game. Again, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't earn. I'm just saying don't make the mistake of equating your happiness with something that only has utility value.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more, and you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Gaur Gopal Das, and my take on his top 10 rules of success. Enjoy. Rule number 2, gain experience.
Of course, when we're talking about measurements, we're measuring in one way.
Yes.
Correct? So the data and the statistics would be in one space.
Yes.
So in that particular space, we would say we list here.
Yes.
If we start measuring basing some other yardstick as a yardstick of measurement, probably have a whole different statistics available to us. Nevertheless, having said that, I think I often say whether you drive a BMW or a Rolls Royce, it's not the car that happiness, it's the journey. When the focus shifts overtly to the car than the journey, you're compromising with your experience. Car is important. A good car is great, no problem. But when your focus is overtly on that, you're compromising with your journey. I say often, it's not an iPhone or a Samsung. It's the quality of your conversation on that phone that gives you that experience of happiness.
Correct.
But when your attention moves from the quality of conversations to the quality of your phone, overtly, you're kind of compromising with your experience. I often say that it's not the watch that, whether it's a Rolex or a Tissot or whatever it is, or a Giorgio Armani, whatever brand of Rado, or a Breitling, whatever watch you wear, I really don't think it's the watch that gives you that happiness. It's how you utilize that time on that watch that gives you that experience. But when your focus shifts from utilizing your time to your watch and flaunting that watch, I think we are compromising with our experience. I don't think it's the house that's made of bricks and cement that brings us the happiness, whether it's in Malabar Hill with the most fancy furnishings inside and a massive space. I think it's the quality of our relationships in that house and that brings us happiness. It's the home that brings us happiness. So it's not India or America or any place in the world. It's anybody who prioritizes things, achievements of things, and starts equating the quality of their life with those things, will definitely have a compromised standard of experience. Whereas those who prioritize the quality of their journey, the quality of their relation, and not saying the thing shouldn't be there, absolutely not saying that. I'm just saying equating happiness to that
is where the problem is.
Is where the problem is. Because then, today, and it also comes from what's considered a social standard of being accepted as the social standard of being accepted as cool. Today you're not judged for you're not accepted for who you are. You're accepted for the car you drive, or the area you live in, or the class of an airplane that you fly on, and a flight that you fly on. So in a society where the standards of your success are so shallow, then the pressure to conform, that if I don't have this, if I'm not at this party, there's FOMO, the fear of missing out. I'm missing out on something. Big thing. But who created it? A standard that we made, that this is what happiness means. Right? But if we understand that there are finer things that bring us happiness, these things have utility value. Let's use them. Use the best stuff, no problem. Use the best stuff. Who's saying you don't have a Rolls Royce? But if you think Rolls Royce makes you happy, I'm sorry. Have the fanciest house. Who says don't have it? But if you think it's the house that makes you happy, I'm not sure if bricks and cement can make me happy.
Rule number 3, have hope.
I must tell you, oh God, just how the world is. When you are high up, you don't know what to say there. You're not just, I was just in America in February. I was flying from New York, JFK airport, to go to Detroit. And it was an airline called Spirit Airlines. And in the morning they were selling alcohol. So I asked the stewardess, I guess your airline is in very high spirit, They were selling spirits in the morning itself. Oh goodness. Turbulence not in control. Takeoff not in control. Landing not in control. Choice in control. The takeoff of life is our birth. No control. I can't change my looks. I was born the way I was. Some are born in a wealthy family. Some are born in a poor family. Some are born very smart and handsome. Some are not so handsome. Some are fair, some are dark, some are green, some are yellow. Some are born in the US, some are born in Indian, some are born in America, Hindu family, some are born in Muslim family, some are born in Jain family, some are born in Jew families. What control do you have over the takeoff? Did you choose your mothers and fathers? ये मम्मी होगी, ये पापा होगा, भगवान पहले जोड़ी लगा देना, मैं आने वाला है, मेरा अवतार लेने वाला है, मैं तुम थोड़ा जोड़ी बना देना दोनों. Do you have any control? No control at all. And in the landing, death, there's tremendous hope in life. God is the greatest hope in life. You don't have to be hopeless. Failure is not the end of the world. Someone insulting you is not the end of the world. A health crisis is not the end of the world. A divorce, a breakup is not the end of the world. And the turbulence is in your control. Problems during the journey of your life, from birth to death, takeoff to landing, as the journey of your life goes, there's clouds, there's wind speeds, tremendous turbulence, which is completely beyond your control. Are people in your control? What people say about you behind your back is in your control? What people think of you, is it in your control? You can try to be good, but can you control people? In New York, when I was there recently, one guy came up to me after my talk and said, "You're the most egoistic person I've ever seen." I don't even know him. I'm a human being. Even I have feelings and emotions.
can't just come and slap you on your face, and I won't even use the words he used against me, straight on my face, and then wrote a wrong email to me. That email is on my phone, just in case you feel I'm lying, you can come and check out. God bashing me with words like, oof. What can I do? I have no control. When a health crisis comes, cancer happens to someone for no fault of his or hers, what can you do? It's completely out of control. When an examiner asks a googly question in the question paper, you all know, what can you do? What can you do? Nothing, right? Therefore, between this journey called birth and death, there's only one thing in our control: our choices. The choices we make are completely in our control. Choice karna bhi mushkil ho jata hai kei baar. So if I take advantage of the time in between, and thus I say, when you're born, people love you. And when you die, people love you. In between, you have to manage. Stunning how life is. जिंदा होते तो प्रेम क्यों नहीं करते मालूम नहीं? जन्म पे प्रेम करते, मरने के बोलते अच्छा था बेचारा, अच्छा था. जिंदा होता तो मुंह बंद क्यों रखा? बोलना चाहिए था ना, तभी अच्छा था. मरने के बाद अच्छे थे वैसे बेचारे. Kind of really amazing how people can be.
Rule number 4, practice questioning.
Let's not look at viewpoints from any particular lens.
Right.
Let us look at life and spirituality as a process of learning.
Right.
And when we are talking about a process of learning, there's no learning without questioning. Doesn't matter what faith, doesn't matter what background. If spirituality, if religion is a process of education,
Right.
and learning, I'm not too sure if education and learning would happen without questioning and a dialogue, right? I remember, I think, was it, it was Isidore Rabbi was his name, physicist, if I'm not wrong. This gentleman got a Nobel Prize.
Okay.
And the reporters asked him, they asked him, sir, you are now a Nobel laureate, you have a Nobel Prize. So what made you different from all the children in your neighborhood? You come from a Jewish background, they were Jewish background, I'm from the Judaic tradition. All friends, all from the same neighborhood. What made you a physicist, whereas they're probably lawyers or whatever else? How did you stand out to be a physicist or a scientist? Isidore replied, he said, they are doing exceedingly well and they're doing very well, they're still amazing, they're my good friends, he said. And then he said, every single time, all of these kids who were friends were in the same school, we studied in the same school, some were in the same class, same grade. Said, when we came back home, most of my friends, when they got back home, their mothers would ask them, did you answer the teacher's questions right today? And he said, whenever I got back home, my mom said to me, did you ask intelligent and right questions to your teacher today?
Wow. Absolutely.
Because education, learning is an evolution. And that evolution is not possible without questioning. Right? Reckless questioning is something that we may abandon.
Absolutely.
Reckless questioning meaninglessly is something that all of us would agree to that.
That's right.
But genuine questioning for clarification, for understanding. In fact, I tell people, please don't accept what I'm saying. You challenge me on what I'm saying. Right? Challenge me. Because it's it's the process of education and learning. Otherwise, it's blind faith. Right? I'm saying it, so you're accepting it. Right? So I feel, therefore, religion can be questioned. It should be questioned. I'm not saying religion. I'm saying if it's a process of education, questioning and learning must be a part of it. Right? If this is my academic material education, is my degrees I get, religion is meant to offer me spiritual education. And if it's a part of spiritual education, how can education be without questioning?
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there. Rule number 5, correct your mistakes.
When you